Hi, I'm Rosalie Zuniga. I'm the founder of Postpartum Wellness. It's a one-stop shop for pregnant and new moms to access frequently used services such as lactation support, night nurses, sleep experts, classes, support groups, and counseling as well. And we've recently added doula services to our program. And so today I wanted to get together with Teanna Diggs, who is a doula, so that we can get to know her a little bit better. Thank you, Teanna, for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, why don't we go ahead and start? And if you could just tell me a little bit of what attracted you to postpartum wellness.
Well, I have had a passion for helping others, helping women. I am a mother of 3 with 1 on the way. My husband and I are military, so we understand what it means to be away from support and family. I've seen firsthand what types of depression looks like, what people's struggles are, and everything like that. So when I was able to come across Postpartum Well, I saw an opportunity to be able to give my services and to be able to help those who may need that extra support. And I'm just really excited to be able to be a part of the team and be able to provide my services.
Well, I know we're all very excited to have you here. For those that aren't too familiar with what a doula is, can you expand on what a doula actually does?
Absolutely. So the word doula actually comes from a Greek word that actually means women who serve. So basically what a doula is someone who helps throughout the process from the prenatal experience through birth, through postpartum, and just helps the family or the mother just to have that extra support. In our day and age, we often don't live as close to our family as we would like sometimes. So having that extra support, having someone to kind of help them walk through the process, getting in touch with classes and appointments, preparing a bag for the labor, how to bathe your baby when you get home. There's just a lot of things that sometimes we don't think about when you have that initial, oh my goodness, I'm having a baby. What do I do next? And it's sometimes a doula kind of brings out maybe some of the books that you've been reading in Barnes and Nobles that you're like, okay, now how do I make sense of all of that? So it's just that extra level of support.
Wow, I could definitely see how, most especially for a first-time mother, how doula services can definitely be useful, but also for moms that are having subsequent children, because every pregnancy is different and every child is different. And you really touched upon a good point in that we have so much information at our fingertips, whether it's through the internet or through Barnes and Noble or through Amazon. Like we are just inundated with information, but then actually doing all that stuff that we're learning about is a different beast. And I think having a doula to help really facilitate that and having that personalized service can really be an advantage.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What kind of training does a doula have to go through?
Well, initially, a doula goes through a workshop. There's several different doula agencies that are international, that are national, that someone can go through. I particularly did one that was local to this area, but is nationally recognized. And what happens, it's a workshop. It's normally about 4 to 5 days long, and you go through the whole process of learning how to support women. So we are not medical providers. We don't give any medical advice. If we go to the hospital to do birthing, we're there as a coach, as a counselor, and that extra layer of support. So what we learn how to do is just learn how to be there for our mother, for our spouse, or whoever's going to be in the room with the mom, how to go through that process, how to be supportive, how to come up with those checklists and be able to make sure that you feel as emotionally prepared as possible before you deliver, and then be there for you afterwards if you do have any lingering questions once you leave the hospital and you're at home.
Okay. Well, that's great information. Thank you. Um, and it makes me wonder, can you touch upon the benefits of having a doula during this time period?
Absolutely. From the time that you find out that you're pregnant, um, your mind is racing at 50 million miles per hour. Having someone there who can be that calming base for you is very helpful. Um, we're not coming from a place of bias. We're not coming from a place of tradition. This is how, we've always done things. We're coming from a place of logical. Let's look at things. What needs to get done next? How are you feeling about it? Let's process this, and bringing the experience a little less stress. So we're just there to be that person who can offer that level of guidance when sometimes our life just feels like it's spinning way too fast.
Yeah, yeah. And life definitely can seem like it can get out of control, especially during pregnancy, during delivery, and then after bringing baby home. So having that stability and calmness, it is really important. So how do you actually process what's going on with a mom or the family unit during this time? Because I would imagine that there could be, like you said, there's a roller coaster of emotions and events, and it can, I would think, be a little bit out of control at times. So how do you maneuver all that?
Yes. So, well, initially, I like to meet with the families, preferably in their home because it's the most comfortable place. And then anyone who's going to be involved in the birthing or pregnancy experience is welcome to be there. If you have an aunt or a sister or mother who may live in 2 states over and they want to be a part of it, they're welcome to come on, the video streaming and be able to be a part of that meeting as well if they can't physically be there. But learning about the family and learning about what your needs are, what exactly are you looking out of this. And the great thing about a doula is that I'm not bound by only being able to talk to you about certain things as far as I can tell you about how to make a checklist, but I can't help you go to the store. If you need someone to come to Target with you and pick out those things for the baby bag, then I'm definitely available to do that. So, I like to say that I want you to see me as an extended part of your family, that person that you can come to if you do have questions and everything. And as I get to know the family, then we will come together to make that plan so that it runs as smooth as possible.
Well, that just made me think about, most especially in the Washington, D.C. area, how transient this region is, and how there are so many families that don't have extended family members nearby that probably will have family members come eventually, whether it's at the time of delivery or afterwards. But there, like you just touched upon, there are things that moms and families want to get done beforehand, and having someone at their side definitely is very comforting. But also, like you touched upon earlier today, that you and your husband are both in the military, and I would think that a lot of military families are also isolated from their support system. So having a doula during this time period can definitely be such a lifesaver for these families.
Absolutely. And the good thing about the doula as well is that if you do have family that will be coming for the delivery, or if you have someone who's going to be helping out postpartum, you don't have to utilize all of the services. So you can pick and choose. So you can have someone who helps you, before the birth to prepare things. And if you have a coach or, someone from your family who's going to be in the room with you during the delivery and you feel like you've learned enough from the prenatal side, then you absolutely are welcome to just do the prenatal. If you've delivered and you get home and you realize, wow, there's a lot to this, uh, I am available to be able to help you, even if you didn't use my services for the prenatal or the birthing experience. So you can definitely pick and choose the areas that you want. I would love to come with you throughout the whole experience, but I definitely understand that you may have people who can help out in certain areas, but may not be able to be there for the whole time.
Well, thank you. That was such a smooth transition because I was going to ask about that because before I even knew about doula services, I initially got introduced to doulas and what they do during the postpartum time. I had really no idea that they were available during pregnancy as well. And so I really appreciate you differentiating between the different time periods that families may want to utilize doula services and your availability as well, whether it's through the entire process, like you said, from pregnancy up until bringing baby home and afterwards, or whether it's meeting at the hospital and then afterwards, or if it's just afterwards. It sounds like you're very flexible.
Absolutely. And I think that's important. One thing that I think people may miss sometimes is how stressful that preparation before delivery, outside of actually having your baby grow inside of you, can be. Things such as, have you gone to visit the hospital that you're going to deliver at? And do you know who your doctor will be? And do you have any questions or concerns about pain management and things like that? And these are things that I can kind of help you go through so that you have those questions answered. What's the plan B? What happens if, something that you planned for doesn't happen the way that you intend? And how do we process through that? So kind of coming through and being able to help you think through those situations even before you go into that labor room and things become a little bit more hectic. It's definitely, I think it is essential.
Definitely very, very important. So a lot of our services, whether the lactation support, night nurses, sleep experts, and then the counseling for any kind of just some transition struggles that women or their families might encounter during this time period. A lot of that happens in our offices. We have offices in McLean and Arlington, Virginia. Can you talk a little bit more about where you can provide your services?
Yes, absolutely. So again, with us being in such a transient location, I am very flexible. Ideally, I would like to meet in your home. I'd like to be able to see where you're most comfortable, meet the people in your family, even if that includes a kitty or a dog. Just kind of seeing the whole process and making you feel as comfortable as possible. And then understanding that as you continue to go into your pregnancy, or even if I'm meeting you for the first time postpartum, you don't want to have to, bring your baby out into the traffic and do all these things. So I like to be able to be the one that's flexible for you, and so that you can be as comfortable and relaxed as possible.
Oh, that's really a great service. That's amazing. Most especially not having families go through the traffic here in this area. So I'm sure that will be greatly appreciated. So before we end our call, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to provide to our families?
I would just like to say, if you're questioning on whether a doula is right for you, uh, whether you're a first-time mom or this is your fifth child, whether you're married, you're single, any type of situation that you're in, a doula is definitely an added support system that will benefit you. I feel like even if you just need someone to be able to talk to about some concerns you have about the experiences, if you need someone just to come over so you can sit on the floor and be like, okay, I've got this, but I just got to shed some tears and I need somebody to be motivation for me. We can definitely walk through that process. And then if there's any time where the services that I provide, you feel like you need more, then I can also help you find those resources. If you do need to talk to a therapist, or, maybe you need a massage after you give birth to that baby, so we can definitely work together to collaborate to find the resources that you need throughout the process.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. And I do understand that you have a number of packages that you have available to your clients. And so I certainly would like to encourage anyone that's considering utilizing Teanna's doula services to just really contact her directly. Her information, which includes her phone number and email, are on our website, and she could certainly discuss her packages in detail with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Teanna. I appreciate you coming over and having a chat with us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.
Mhm.